How's it going out there, YouTube land and also social media lands? Welcome to an all-new video. In this video, we're doing a movie review of a new film that just came out about a week or so ago. And is the 8th film in a great series that's supposedly the final film in this series. So we're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms, such as X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Patreon. Pretty much most of these regularly, so definitely check them out. So as people, let's get right into this. So welcome one and all to an all new video. So like I was saying before, we're doing a movie review of a new film that just came out about a week and a half ago. And is a 8th film in a great franchise that started back in 1996. Called Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Yeah! Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Yeah! So this 8th installment into the Mission Impossible series is supposedly the last one. They've said that about several films over the years, and, it always cracks me up when, 10 years later, 5 years later, all of a sudden there's a new one. So I don't count out that this is the last one, but definitely I think we'll be going in a different direction with the new ones, anything from here on. But this film was, really decent. I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought it had a lot of great action sequences. I thought that it had a lot of great, interesting things going on in it. I especially loved the giant underwater sequence. I think that was really, awesome and badass and all this kind of stuff. And I think overall, the film did a pretty decent job of giving us a really great homage to all the other previous Mission Impossible films, 1 through 7. And I think that it overall did a good job of kind of closing out a kind of a great storyline. Now, I did enjoy, how they kind of, brought back a few things they really hadn't completely mentioned or completed the stories about. I love that they did that. I love that they gave us more information about different characters and stuff like that. But, the one gripe I have with the film is that they, decided to kill off a really great character whom I have enjoyed in every film that he's been in since the beginning of the franchise. And I was just really bummed they decided to do that to close out this, film. So I was kind of like, oh man, really? You're gonna go that? At least they only killed off one person. I was happy about that. But overall, I think that it was just an interesting and not the greatest idea, in my opinion, for the film. Now, this film happens to be directed none other by the gentleman that goes by the name of Mr. Christopher McQuarrie. Oh yeah, Christopher McQuarrie. Woo, Christopher McQuarrie. Yeah. So Christopher McQuarrie has directed quite a few things over the years. He's pretty well known for starting off being the director for since Mission Impossible 5. He's directed pretty much the last several, and he is a really well known, I think, action director. He does a really great job. I think he does a really interesting job with the films. He has a really great eye for action, and I just really enjoy just everything he brings to his films, and I think that he does an overall good job with this film in particular. With it having a runtime of 2 hours and 50 minutes, I was really impressed with how evenly flowed it felt. It did not feel like it was almost a 3-hour long film. It kept a really good pace, and I think that Christopher McQuarrie did a great job at making that feel like that and giving us this really fun film that, even though almost a 3-hour long film, gets a lot out, gives us a lot of great fun, and really does establish kind of a great connecting to all the other Mission Impossible films. And I think Christopher did a good job of bringing that to life, giving us this really solid, entry film, or final film, if you want to call it that, into this franchise. And I really enjoyed just all the great stunts that he decided to go with, and the thought process and the whole idea and everything was really done well. And I just think overall he just did a really excellent job. Now, if you haven't seen anything else Christopher McQuarrie has directed, definitely one to check out, and I think is probably one of my favorite of the Mission Impossibles, and I think is just a really overall decent film that really kicks butt, and I think was a really solid entry. And that, of course, is the film called Mission Impossible: Fallout. Yeah! Mission Impossible Fallout. Yeah! Mission Impossible Fallout was so fantastic. We had Henry Cavill play a bad guy. We had, of course, Alec Baldwin in it. We had several great people in it that all played really great bad guys and characters. Of course, we had kind of the finishing, closing thoughts of the Syndicate and its, number one, lackey. And I think that it was just overall a really great job by Christopher. I think it was a really great entry, and I think he really shined in that one. He gave us this really different Mission Impossible film where they brought in all kinds of new types of elements that they could do and have stunts that Tom Cruise could do. And, he just did a really great job of bringing that to life. I thought he got a really great performance out of Henry Cavill playing a bad guy character. I thought he did a really fantastic job with that. I really enjoyed kind of where he took the story. I love that they brought back Michelle Monaghan. They brought in Wes Bentley. I thought that was an interesting choice to bring in as a new husband. And it just overall really shined Christopher McQuarrie's, directing skills, the action, the story, the great pacing, everything he brought to Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning. He just did such a great job with Fallout. And he just really provided a really great entry into that franchise that really, I felt, really revitalized it and got, these last two films made. I really think Fallout's success really brought, Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning to the forefront because it just was so well done. And the whole concept, the whole thought process that Christopher McQuarrie brought to that was just on point and fun. If you haven't seen anything Christopher McQuarrie has directed, definitely check out Mission Impossible Fallout. He did a really superb job with it. And I think he did a really superb job with The Final Reckoning. I thought it was a really well done film. I love that they even brought back the great actor that was in the very first Mission Impossible as the vault guy that, they take Donald Waterlow and take, his ID and get in the access to be able to get the knock list. I love that they brought him back, and he had such a great big part, and it was so awesome. And I just think Christopher McQuarrie did such a great job there, giving a great kind of overall homage back to the very first Mission Impossible, and it just really showed how good of a director he is. If you haven't seen anything Christopher McQuarrie has directed, definitely check out The Final Reckoning in theaters now. He did a really awesome job. So before I get into the cast I like to talk about, I just want to give great mentions, some great homages to some great actors and actresses that were a part of this film too. And of course in this film we had the great Ving Rhames portray Luther once again. And he just is always been one of my favorite characters in this franchise. Absolutely love Ving Rhames. I think he's so fantastic. I think he's awesome. I think he's hilarious. I think he's great at his character of Luther, and you just feel like you've known him for the last 30 years and that you enjoy him. You think he's awesome, and he just brings such a great realness, and he was such a great addition to this franchise, and, he just really shined in this film, and I just got to give him praise. I also got to give praise to the great Pom Klementieff, who I think was really fantastic. I love kind of her arc, how she goes from being a bad guy to a good guy. I think that's really interesting. I think she's a decent actress. I think that she is fun and enjoyable, and I think I just enjoyed her character. I thought it was a really fun arc, a really fun character, and I liked how she became a good guy. I thought that was really cool. The guy that plays the bad guy in this, Mr. Ares, he was an interesting villain. He has a very interesting approach to it, and it was very different. And I just have to give him props for being a really great villain that you weren't sure where he was going. He did such a great job of, giving us kind of like, what is he going to do next, like type of deal. And I thought that was really done well by him. And I thought that he did a great job too as well. Just a great all-around cast that really brought everything to this film, and I just got to give those guys props for how great they were in the film as well, and just how much fun they were, and how awesome they were, and just, how they were a great addition to that cast. But that brings me to the first actor I like to talk about this film, and that, of course, is, Mr. Ethan Hunt himself. Mr. Tom Cruise! Oh yeah, Tom Cruise, woo! Tom Cruise, yeah! Tom Cruise, woo! Tom Cruise is so awesome. He is a great action actor. He's done a lot of great things over the years. He's just a fantastic actor, and he just really brings a lot of fun to his characters, whatever he is. And I've enjoyed his portrayal of Ethan Hunt since the very first Mission Impossible. And I love where he took his character this one. He kept it that same kind of fresh feel, but at the same time, he did take it back to several of the different actions we've seen him in other previous installments. And I just really enjoy just what he has brought to Ethan Hunt, and I like his arc in this film and how he really kind of brings it twofold and showing that, even though this seems to be his final parting way, he still is active and still is going to go and he's still going to do it and he's still going to have fun and he's still a part of the team and that it isn't over. And I love that. And I think that Tom does such a great job of bringing that to life and giving us this great character that we have enjoyed and been entertained by for the last 30 years. And I think that overall it's a really great character that really shines, and I think that Tom did a really good job of bringing that to life. I mean, his action sequences alone, all the stunts he's done in these films have been phenomenal. It just shows the, athleticism that he has and just how awesome he is as a stuntman. And that, he really does a great job of bringing these, crazy sequences to life. And I have to give him props for doing these dangerous stunts and being the one showing that he can do them and that he is the action guy. And I think that really shined in what he brought to his character of Ethan Hunt. Now, if you haven't seen, Mr. Tom Cruise or anything, definitely a great film to check him out in. Is a great film that came out, almost 30 years ago as well, and is just a really great courtroom drama type of film. And that is a film called A Few Good Men. Yeah! A Few Good Men, yeah. I actually loved him this film. I thought he did a really great job. I liked his character. I thought he was interesting. He really brought a really fun greatness to his character. And I thought he worked so well with everyone else in the film, from Demi Moore, Jack Nicholson, Kevin Bacon, Kiefer Sutherland. I mean, so many people were in this film. And he just really embodied his character. And I feel he took a lot of what he learned from The Firm as well and brought it to his portrayal in this too as well. And those came out around the same time, I feel. I think there might have been a year difference between the two, but I still feel like, both of those films, he really kind of shined in both of them and brought those characters to life by, taking something from one and applying it to the other. And I think that, A Few Good Men is just one of those really great freaking films that is so intense and so amazing. And Tom just played that lawyer character so well. And you cannot not like him, or you cannot find certain situations that he's in. You're like, holy crap, how is that? Why is that possible? Type of deal. And I just really enjoyed just everything he brought to the character in that film, and I thought that overall it was just a really fantastic performance that shines and really shows the great acting ability he has. If you haven't seen Tom Cruise in anything, definitely check him out, A Few Good Men. He was really superb in it. But overall, I really enjoyed his supposed final outing as Ethan Hunt. He was absolutely fantastic, and props to him and his awesome, fun action sequences in this film that he did that were just so freaking awesome. If you haven't seen Tom Cruise recently, go check him out in the Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. He was absolutely fantastic. So that brings me to the next actor I'd like to talk about that was in the film. And that is none other than kind of the comedic sidekick type of guy that is just awesome and has been in each of these films since the third film. And that, of course, is Mr. Simon Pegg. Oh yeah, Simon Pegg. Woo, Simon Pegg, yeah. Oh, I absolutely love Simon Pegg. You probably recognize Simon Pegg from Shaun of the Dead, of course, Hot Fuzz. You might recognize him from many other things over the years that he's been in. Absolutely Nothing he's been in. He was in The Fear of Everything. Paul, I mean, he's been in so many things, and he's just a really fantastic actor who I absolutely love watching, and he does such a great job. And he's just one of those actors that, no matter what he's in, you always fall for his character. You always love his character and think he's just absolutely fantastic. And I love that about Simon Pegg, because he really, truly feels like he's that genuine, even off the screen. And I just absolutely think he's such a great actor, a great comedian, and I just love the beautifulness that he brings to, Benji, the character. And he did that in this film. He gave it such a great OD to, his character since the third film. He gives it a great, battle. He gives me a great just thought process throughout this entire film, and just absolutely are just rooting for Benji because he's so awesome. And he has become such a great, integral part of this great team, and is just so fun. And I think Simon Pegg really brought a lot of greatness to this franchise by becoming a part of this franchise. And I can't see any of the Mission Impossibles without the great Simon Pegg, because he just has been so awesome in these films. And I think that some of the films he doesn't get enough screen time, and yet this one he gets so much, and it's so great to see him throughout this whole entire film, and he just rocks it, and he's so awesome. And he just really delivers a really great performance that I think he's a very underrated, actor that doesn't get enough credit for how fun and how great of an actor he is. Like, he can be very theatrical, he can be very dramatic if he wants to be, and I think it's a very amazing. I think he's so good at that, and I don't think he gets enough recognition for how good he is other than just being a comedian. And I hope he gets great accolades for his performances, because it was absolutely phenomenal. And he just was such a great addition to this film, and just made it so fun. Now, if you haven't seen Simon Pegg anything, definitely something to check him out in. It's a great film that he did a few years ago called The World's End. Yeah, The World's End. Yeah. So, The World's End is the third film in the Cornetto trilogy, which had Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead in, and is directed, of course, by Edgar Wright, stars the great Nick Frost as well. And Simon is just so freaking awesome in this film. I love his character. He is so on point. And I really feel that this character is kind of poignant of who he was at the time, too. This film really shows, I feel... Let's try that again. So I feel this film at this point really showed and kind of was very poignant for Simon Pegg at this time, simply for the fact that he was battling alcoholism at the time, and I think this film really was kind of that turning point for him, and was around the time that he was trying to get clean and sober. And I think that, what he portrayed on screen was very visible and real in his real personal life. And I think it shows in the film. It really shows a great passion and a great, acting provided by him that is just so amazing. And at the same time, great comical and just a great, awesome funness that is just so enjoyable. And this film had such a great cast in it that really helped Simon Pegg live in this film and give one of his greatest performances, I feel, in many years. And I just love the emotion and intensity that he brings to his character in this, and it's so much fun. And you just feel for him, and you feel bad for him, and at the same time you're like, you need to get your life together, dude, and try to move on. But yet, at the same time, he finds his calling by the end of the film, and sees what he could be doing to change himself to, battle this addiction. And that's exactly what he does in real life, too. And I think that this film is very poignant to that. And I think it makes this film very amazing for him, and one of his greatest films to date. He's so amazing, and it's just so awesome. If you have not seen Simon Pegg in anything, definitely check him out at The World's End. He was absolutely the best, the awesomest, the amazingest in this film. It was just so damn good. If you haven't seen The World's End, check out Simon Pegg's performance. He was absolutely phenomenal. But once again, he was phenomenal in The Final Reckoning. He was so good, awesome. Love what he does in this film, and he was just so on point, awesome. If you haven't seen Simon Pegg recently, go check him out in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. He was absolutely superb. So that brings me to the final person I like to talk about this film, and that, of course, is a newcomer who just came in to the last film, and she is gorgeous, amazing, and just so beautiful. And that, of course, is Miss Haley Atwell. Oh yeah, Haley Atwell. Woo, Haley Atwell, yeah. Absolutely love Haley Atwell. She is so amazing. Absolutely love this woman. She's always fantastic in anything she does, and she was just a great addition to this franchise. Absolutely love it. And I think that she did a great job. I love the sincereness on her. I love what she brings to her character in these two films. And, she really brought it once again in The Final Reckoning. And she just was a really great addition, being a pickpocket, which was, different. We hadn't really seen that before. We've seen criminals and stuff like that become part of the, thing. But we never really had somebody that was kind of like petty level kind of larceny type of thing. And I think that was a really great, smart writing choice. And Haley did such a great job of bringing that character to life. I mean, the look on her face in certain sequences in this film were just seemed like that was real. It was so real and so well done. And, she proved that in the last film too as well, but in this, she just was so freaking awesome, and you absolutely fall in love with her and just want her to survive, and you want her to get together with Tom Cruise and be a part of Ethan's life and stuff like that, and you feel that tension and everything, and I think it's really fantastically done, and I just really enjoy just what he brings to that characterization, and I think it's done really well. And I really enjoy just what Tom Cruise brings to his relationship with her, and they just worked so well together and gave us a really great dynamic that really worked. And she had a lot of great screen time in this one, I think. I think she had a lot of fun. I think she did some great action-packed stuff. I thought she kicked butt. And I just think Haley did such a great job portraying her character that there was no point that I felt that you found her, lazy or annoying, or you didn't care for the character. You didn't find the character like useless or anything like that. That she was just there to be eye candy type of deal. I didn't feel like that for Haley Atwell's character. It actually felt like she was a part of the team, and I liked that. I liked that it wasn't just about her being so attractive, but at the same time she really brought a really valuable part to that great team. And I think that she did a great job, especially with her ending, sequence having to deal with the entity and all that kind of stuff. And it was just really well done. And Haley just really kicked butt and just did a really fantastic job. She just was so amazing in the film, and I just really enjoyed her in it. Now, if you haven't seen Haley Atwell or anything, definitely a film to check her out in, where she portrays the great Peggy Carter for the first time. In this film, and she just was absolutely fantastic. And that, of course, is in the film called Captain America, the First Avenger. Yeah! Captain America, the First Avenger. Yeah! She was absolutely fantastic as Peggy Carter. Of course, she went on to do the Carter series. We saw her briefly in some other things like that, and she just was absolutely fantastic as Peggy Carter. This was the first time I had ever seen her or anything, and I instantly felt that she was just a really good actress, and that she really was going to kick butt and just have a lot of fun playing this character, and that's what she provided. She was so good as the character, and I just really enjoyed what she brought to that character, and I love that she really had this very sincere connection to Captain Rogers, and I enjoyed that her and Steve had this kind of relationship that blossomed over the decades and stuff like that, and that she always truly felt and was in love with him, and I liked that relationship, and I thought Haley did such a great job of bringing that to life and giving us a real authentic feel, and just feel for her, and you like her, and you enjoy her, and I just think that she really brought a really great realness to her character that was just really done well, and really was a great point at the same time of being this strong woman that kicked butt as well, and I thought that was really great. If you haven't seen Haley Atwell or anything, definitely check out in Captain America, the First Avenger. She was absolutely fantastic and was really enjoyable. But overall, really enjoyed her in The Final Reckoning. She did a great job. She was a great addition to this film. And just overall, you just really enjoy her character, and she just was really awesome. If you haven't seen her recently or anything, go check her out in The Final Reckoning. She was absolutely fantastic. So what is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning about? Basically, the premise of this story is where we last left Ethan off at the end of Dead Reckoning. Ethan is still trying to stop the evil character Gabriel from unleashing and being in control of the thing that's known as the Entity. And basically, it's up to Ethan to stop the Entity, kill it, destroy it, whatever you gotta do, and stop Gabriel before the Entity is able to take control of all the nuclear weapons all over the world and destroy the world as we know it. Really fantastic film, really well done, really enjoyed it. Like I said, I only had the one gripe about killing off a certain character I was not happy about, but otherwise the film itself was really enjoyable, and it just was overall a great addition to this franchise and a decent last outing, if it is the last outing for Ethan Hunt. I give this one 9 golden movie boxes up. I think it's a really great film. I look forward to adding to the collection. It just was really enjoyable. Lots of great action, lots of great comedy, great seeing certain characters and stuff like that. Loved Simon Pegg, loved Haley Atwell, and everyone just was really fantastic in the film. Really well directed and all. If you haven't seen it yet, highly recommend go check it out in theaters now. Really worth the watch. Really fun. Overall, a fantastic movie. Go check it out. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, and also thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here or you haven't before, don't forget to check out any other new videos if you might not seen mine yet. As always, people, a huge shout out to my new and old subscribers. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. You guys are rocking it. As always, if you want to show some more support for the channel, please check out my awesome Patreon page, where you get all kinds of extra accoutrements you don't get here once you become a member on my Patreon. Plus, also, you get to pick a TV show, a movie, a series, whatever you like, once a month, for me to review personally, just for you. So, definitely something to check out. Plus, also, you can find merch, bloopers, all that kind of stuff. So, check it out. As always, catch you in the next one.